No. On this week's expose, we are going to be talking about none other than Molly Hayes, aka Bruiser, or other known as Princess Powerful. Molly Hayes' first appearance was in Runaway #1 in July 2003. She was created by Brian Vaughn and Adrian Alfona as the artist, I believe. I'm probably butchering his last name, so sorry, Adrian. But Molly's superpowers is that she has super strength, invulnerability, and she is bioluminescent, basically. But only in her eyes when she uses her powers. Molly is part of a group called the Runaways. It is a group of children that didn't know that their parents were actually part of an evil organization called the Pride. And as soon as they found out about that, slowly throughout it, one found out they were a witch, one found out that their parents were time travelers, others found out that they were an alien, one found out that his parents were mad scientists, and Molly actually found out that her parents were mutants. Molly didn't get her powers until maybe a little bit throughout the series, probably a few issues in, actually. They ended up beating their parents. From there, they went kind of stayed in California there, kind of, beat up God, I forgot what their name is, the Wrecking Crew once or twice. They've had some fun issues. She did get recruited by the X-Men a few times, but it never really stuck, and she always wound up going back to the Runaways. Currently, right now, they are trying to fend off a bunch of Doombots because one of their roommates currently is a Doombot that they have as their buddy. That they're kind of like their butler. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, can I add a little asterisk to that, Ryan?
Of course.
In Battle of the Atom, which was the anniversary crossover event back in 2013 for the X-Men, it did show a future team of X-Men, and Molly was among them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good memory.
I think about Battle of the Atom right there. I think about that crossover more than probably anyone should, because you know what happens in that. Zornetta takes off her helmet and it's revealed to be adult Jean. And at the time, as it was being published, we all thought it was adult Jean back to life, but it was actually teen Jean who grew up to be adult Zornita. But then later, it actually really wasn't even teen Jean grown up to be an adult. It was just an apparition from, I believe it was Xavier, evil Xavier's son.
Oh my goodness.
There you go.
I think you just broke my brain.
And now my work here is done. Goodbye. So maybe that team didn't even exist, and Molly has never been an X-Man in any story.
Remember, you guys, one of my first expose about Storm's daughter that had the giant panther that walked around with her? That's from this universe.
Mm-hmm.
And no one knows where she's at still. Should never to be seen or heard from again.
Nope.
No. I believe that she had she did die that one time on a shield carrier or something, I believe. But then they said that she was resurrected in Krakoa, but I don't know. Yeah.
Shrug. I don't think anyone knows anymore. I have no faith anymore, but who knows?
We've got Natalie and Burley over here.
Exactly.
I'm lying naked on the floor.
Can you move the camera down so we can all see that? Hey.
That sounds like a party to me.
No, last time party. This time we have to be good. I've only had 2 glasses of wine, so we can't.
Okay.
Welcome to Bayville, my new home. It's time you remember why they call me Storm.
Look at me, I look fat. Do I look that bad to you? Easy, Fuzzy Elf. Everything is going to be just fine.
Storm. That was tight. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Welcome to this week's Solving for X. My name is Sean. I'm your ultimate excavationist. He, they.
And I'm something of an X fan myself, Kevin. He, him.
And I'm your astonishing X-Men stan, Ryan. He, him.
And we have
And
Paul. You can
what's up,
introduce
guys?
yourself.
I'm the Uncanny Dayspring, he, him, and I host a podcast called Power of X-Men.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah,
Thank you so
And I'm
much for
obsessed
being
with you
here.
guys.
Yeah.
Oh no, thank you. When Ryan messaged me, I was just like, "Tell me when." I'm blocking this out on my calendar. So
And you do, like, you make me feel. You've made me realize how lazy I am, because last time you're on was in like February or March, I think, for Power Surge, and we're like, we're gonna have like these cool like X-Men playing cards. We're gonna mail you some. We still haven't made them, Paul. They're still not done. So shame on me.
no,
Terrible.
can I tell you? I promised book like for our book club stickers that we had Luciano do Luciano Vehico, and someone on my NGLs messaged me being like, "You lied! You never send these book club stickers. I'm still waiting for them." And I'm like, I have no defense other than you're right. I never, and I have like the stamp, I have the envelopes, and I just haven't gotten around to writing out the addresses. So,
Yeah.
and that's like 2 years at this point. So,
Okay. I feel a little less bad now.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So what we're talking today, of course, last week we finished up our X-Men Evolution episodes. We thought we'd come back and give a little synopsis on what Stephen E. Gordon shared at Uncanny Experience from the terrible notes that he took. But also, we had to have Paul here because Paul is like the biggest X insider. So we wanted your perspective from your talks with Stephen Gordon on where this series would have gone had there been a season 5.
I am so ready. I am like I re-listened to the episodes I've done with Steven. I was DMing with Steven, and I've spoken with Maggie as well, and I've done all the research for like the last 20 years. So I'm ready for this. You just tell me.
Yay. See, we
Nice.
knew it.
Kevin's like, we know.
We know.
Because I've spammed him for years on like X-Men tidbits and Charmed too.
Right, you've been on the Charmed podcasts a few times, so yeah.
All right, and Ryan, did you have something for us? I saw your hand. You're so polite.
Oh yeah. Sorry. But no. As soon as I was like, oh, Paul, maybe like watch this video because it was like we're gonna be talking about what like maybe season 5 was, and like maybe 2 minutes like after sending the video, Paul's like, I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. Some of this is fake, and I was like, well, I'm excited to actually learn from Professor Paul tonight.
Yeah.
Like, I can't
I
wait
was-
to hear from Professor Dayspring. Sorry.
No,
That's
it's,
right.
I was a little disappointed with that video. I was like, I don't think everyone did their research there on that video.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's like me and Charmed canonical. Like, ooh.
Yeah.
I thought I was a huge Charm fan in general, and then I speak to Kevin, and I'm like, I know nothing. I absolutely know nothing about Charm, and I'm going to go hide in a corner.
We
That's
are
how I
all
feel
Jon
about-
Snow compared to Kevin.
Yeah. Sometimes that's how
Yeah.
I feel about talking X-Men with you, though, Paul. Like, seriously. Like, I'll be like, oh, this,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, actually, it was this issue in page 42.
Yeah.
Oh my
Box
God.
7. Yeah.
Oh, this is what happens when you're like middle aged and obsessed with your cartoons from a kid, comics and cartoons as a kid.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Well, a couple quick notes, then we'll get into our season 5. So, just a fun tidbit: Maggie Blue O'Hara shared with us that her real name is Maggie Blueberry Sunshine O'Hara. So, her
Yeah.
parents are very much hippies.
Hippies. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, wasn't it actually just Blueberry Sunshine? Like, there was no Maggie at first, and she had to pick Maggie, like, when going to school or something, I thought?
Yeah, because her legal name
Oh, I
is
think that's
Blueberry
right.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
right.
Wait, when did you guys have her on? I haven't heard the episode. When did you guys have her on?
No, this was just
We
in the
didn't have
panel.
her on. It was at
The
a
panel, the panel. Oh, the
Yeah.
panel. Oh, at Uncanny. You know, it's so funny. We had Maggie on like years ago, and her mom hippie mom messaged me to be like, "That was such a great interview you did with my little girl."
Wow,
That's
that's
Oh,
so
so
I
cool.
love that.
And it was like mom's birthday, and I'm like, I'm gonna shout out mom on her birthday. It was really her mom was really lovely.
Aw.
She sounds like it. That's awesome.
Sorry,
That
I
is
Um,
keep interrupting you.
no, that's what you're here for. We're used to it. No.
It's all with valid information. Don't worry. Keep it
Right.
coming, please.
Yeah. Maggie did also tell us, I thought this was cute, that she thought they were being recorded so that their mannerisms can be put into the cartoon. They weren't being recorded at all. They were just
No.
so she was like totally like acting it out and stuff, and they're like, "Cool." What does
Like,
your
you're
voice
really
sound
into
like?
it.
Yeah. We brought this up as a tease before, Ryan. I thought you could talk about it. We talked about how Kitty was originally going to be a little bit gay, and you teased like who would she have been with?
Well, it was always will they, won't they with Rogue and Kitty. I believe that she mentioned, and even sorry, is it Greg? Was it Greg that was there? No, I'm sorry. Who was the other? Who's the? He's totally Stephen Gordon. Sorry, that for some reason I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why. I'm thinking of Gary Graham for some reason. I don't know
Oh.
why.
Oh, Gary Graham. Oh.
He does stuff to us. But yeah, they always said that maybe Rogue and Kitty were going to actually wind up together, and then as soon as they mentioned it to the actual heads of the company, they're like, no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Really? That's really interesting. I didn't see that panel, but the impression I got from Steven was that like the heads of the company, like the investors for X-Men Evolution, had very little input into like Marvel, and like the investors had very little input on what stories and what character developments they could do. They actually had like free reign. So that's interesting that with Kitty being LGBTQIA plus, that they were like, no, nix that.
Well, at
Well, I
this
know even
time,
with
though,
Mistaken Destiny too, they had to be like
yeah.
subtle. They had to sneak that in.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I don't know if it was the company or whatever, but I just remember that getting that story just being like, no, absolutely not. You
Somebody
can't,
along the line, who
because it
knows?
was like a kid show or something, you know? Yeah.
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 Well, I think the character that was supposed to be in the closet, and I wonder if he said this at the panel too, was supposed to be Nightcrawler, because Nightcrawler is actually based off of Stephen E. Gordon's son, who came out to him. So the running joke in the office was that when Nightcrawler and Amanda hook up, it's that joke, oh man, duh, that Friends joke from yonder years. But that's what Stephen E. Gordon told us. But he was written as sort of in the closet. Kurt was the one that was written in the
Interesting.
closet.
Well, yeah, that is funny that you say that because we've talked about the comparison of him in him, like in what's it, season 3 or 2 or whatever. Whenever everyone was exposed that he got
Right.
to
He was
actually be in the
still,
closet longer, and
yeah,
he didn't want to actually
still
come
living
out
that lie.
until
Yeah.
he had to. So we kind of made that analogy quite a few times. So thank you for sharing that.
That
That's
should be,
awesome.
yeah, and that's from Stephen himself. So that's not even something I've inferred.
Nice. Something else Steven told us about a little bit about the cancellation of the show. So basically, like, the show is being funded a lot through the toys, and then in the middle of season 2, KB Toys was like, "We don't want your effing toys." So basically, from season 2, mid season 2 to season 4, Marvel was paying for the show without getting any money in return. So they weren't making money off of it. So they cut season 4 short and were like, wrap it up. You got 9 episodes. So that's a little more about why the cancellation.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know if KB Toys was like, "Fuck you, we don't want your toys." I don't remember. I would take Stephen's word over mine. But I think the issue was that KB Toys was starting to be phased out, and the distribution
Yeah, that's
channels
more what he
were no
said.
longer, yeah, they were no longer available to them. And I worked in book publishing when Borders went away. A significant chunk of your income does leave, and even though now you adapt and you survive in the moment, you're sort of in a free fall. But when KB Toys went away, it significantly impacted their plans for the show because if I remember correctly, the X-Men movie toys, Toy Biz did not get a large percentage of the income there. So they wanted something they could wholly own and make money through the toy revenue. And that's why Marvel funded the project with investors, of course. But that's what they wanted, that ROI. But when KB Toys collapsed, then they weren't getting that return on investment, and they were like, fuck, we don't want to continue paying for all of this entire show. Which
Yeah.
is such a great show. It's ludicrous that, and I think a similar, albeit not the same situation, but a similar happenings went down with Wolverine and the X-Men, which Steven was also part of.
Right.
Sad.
Yeah, it's too bad. We get these shows that are so great that we all love, and then they just get cut short because of funding, basically. Because of funding.
Always boils down to money. I mean, like,
Yep.
you know, I get it. I mean, sadly, the way the world works, if you're investing money and you're not getting that return, because I think it was going through WB, and even Toy Biz had ad spots for WB, so they weren't even getting like a advertising stream from it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, the WB around this time was on a decline. Only a few years later, it merged with UPN became the CW. So yeah, it's interesting. It's just like same network as Charmed. Here we go.
Yeah, Charmed was the last WB show. I just learned that this week, Charmed Magazine.
Yeah, their rap party
Yeah.
vanquished the WB. Yeah, they were the
Yep.
last rap party of the WB network.
And the big thing, the sort of that relationship between the WB and UPN started when UPN picked up Buffy, and Buffy's last two seasons were on UPN while Angel was still on the WB, and then of course they merged.
Tricky.
And our last show that was so great was Charmed, and Buffy obviously really influenced X-Men Evolution as well, as you all probably know.
I love that. I love seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do love that when it did go to UPN that they're like, the reason it's going there is because they're going to give us more money for special effects guys. Like,
Yeah, and I think there was a lot of bad blood with this is just me speculating. I think there was bad blood with Whedon because I think in the end, WB was going to shell out. I think it was like $2 million per episode, something like that. WB did finally say they would, but they opted to go to UPN. And of course, when Angel would come up for renewal, Whedon would infamously would clash with the head of WB, and Angel would not get renewed for a sixth season. So I don't know. That's just me speculating. That's not truth. But I've had the unfortunate situation to have interviewed Whedon back when I was at Wizard, and he was a big dick. So yeah.
I know when you said that
sad to
Whedon had issues, I was like, what? That's so unlike that. I've never heard of anything like this.
I could not, it was one of those first situations. Like I was a baby, I was like 22, and I got this opportunity to interview Whedon. It was my story. We were going to talk about charisma, and at the time it was rumored that she would have been playing Wonder Woman, and we were talking about Astonishing X-Men, and of course Kitty Pryde is very Buffy coded, and I thought I was doing my due diligence, but he called up my editor and got really angry that I interviewed him and sort of my approach, and I wasn't even offensive. But yeah, I think I almost got let go because of that. They pulled me into an office like a week later, and I now look at in retrospection that the editor probably wanted to fire me, but I was just too adorable to fire. So I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but no, what I was trying to say is, I'm not talking out of my ass. I've seen firsthand this is not a very pleasant individual, and so some of the back end that had been reported, I can sort of see that would have been
makes sense.
The situation.
Yeah.
So, but Charm survived. That's all we care about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
really kind of the last two things I had on our notes before we get into season 5. Boom Boom was written to be very fluid, which we kind of see that. Like, she's just kind of all over the place, flirting with everybody, especially Nightcrawler. And Steven told us that the adult teachers, like, somebody asked why were those characters made adults, and he's like, because the network told me to. So he was basically told which ones to make the adults and which ones he could use as kids.
Yeah, I think Steven was not like the biggest fan of the original animated series. I think he had like popped in and seen a couple of things and wanted to like go back and tweak stuff. Like I think he's mentioned this very publicly that he didn't like how Rogue was depicted there, and his words, not mine. The Dolly Parton, big bosom, sassy Southern belle seems like a straight male fantasy than what the actual character would be if she couldn't touch someone. And I think when they were looking at building the series, Rogue was the central point of them building the series. And from there, that's where all the characters started falling into place. And obviously, Xavier was inspired by Patrick Stewart at the time. And they were having some kind of communication with the movie studios. It's a really nebulous and unclear. But Tyler Mane also inspired, and they wanted the story to revolve around Rogue, and that's where you got more Storm. But I think Storm was more of a question mark as to what to do with Storm, as she is in every property, sadly.
Yeah.
They never know what to do with her, and then Scott and Jean from there. And I think they wanted to break away from the love triangle with Logan, so that's why he was older.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Well, oh, do you have something, Ryan?
No, I just said okay.
He says no.
Okay.
He said,
All right, Paul. Tell us about season 5. I can't wait to hear the tea.
Are you ready for the tea? Are
Yes.
you really ready for this? Okay, boys, get close. Get close. Nothing was planned. Nothing was planned for season 5. Nothing. It is rumors out there. None of it is factual. That video where they're like Psylocke would have been introduced as a shield agent, absolutely not true. Because the way they were canceled was because when the investors pulled out, they were given ample time through midway through the production of season 4 to wrap everything up. And so they usually used to have the talks at the end of the season where they would go next season. So all that flash forward that we saw, it was actually just trying to end the X-Men on a very hopeful note.
Okay.
I feel like I just told
that.
you guys Santa Claus doesn't exist.
No,
You
I mean
did.
but I love that too, because the fans, they just want to just make it grow and believe all these things and have these theories. That's what we do. And
I was gonna say I'm one of them.
Yeah. So absolutely. I mean, it's because we always want more. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not to discredit that maybe someone out there had a notebook that was on production and actually, had some ideas floating around, but nothing like they did not sit down and formally plan a season 5 in any way, shape, or form. And I think a lot of the misinformation out there stems from the Psylocke and Emma Frost sketches that Steven did back in like 2005 at some random fan convention because they asked him, how would Emma and Psylocke look? And he drew them. And I think he himself has said that those would never have passed through the network, given how scandalous they were.
Yeah, people have him draw stuff all the time at these
mention-
conventions. So
Yeah. I remember he did mention at the convention at Uncanny Experience that he would have liked to put them in season 5. So he did say that. Maybe that's like his headcanon, like after the fact, though. Because you're right. Those would be hard characters to adapt for a kid's show.
Yeah, and I think Steven has probably been a huge and vocal advocate of, especially with the 25th anniversary coming up, that they would want the show revived. And he was a little salty on our episode, and I love him so much. And he talks so much on that episode, so everyone should go listen. So I'm not even promoting myself. I'm promoting what his story is. So please go check it out at Power of X-Men. But he said something to the effect of like, I don't know of anyone who was asking for the animated series to come back. Everyone always asks about Wolverine and the X-Men and X-Men Evolution. So I think he's probably stayed a little bit marinating with them. But if there was something that was like incredibly evident with the seasons they did, was that they had a lot of fun doing the show. And the series was initially conceived as a Muppet Babies style X-Men
Yeah.
show, because the babies were like the big thing back in the day. And babies at one point were really cool. Now it's like, ew, babies. But they they initially conceived it as that kind of show, and then when Steven was brought on board, they saw it more as an opportunity to tell like a really riveting high school drama. They were all big Buffy fans, and Charisma Carpenter, Allison Hannigan, Seth Green all inspired character designs for Jean, Kitty, and Nightcrawler. And they really wanted to give context for these characters, not just like villains fighting for like 15 minutes and then resolving it. They actually wanted to establish these relationships.
Wow. You actually kind of destroyed me a little bit, because there's so much in season 4, like when they introduce Legion and then like he gets trapped in a portal and like all the stuff that happens. I'm like, obviously Steven had plans for this, and you're like, no, he didn't. Fuck you, Sean.
Well, so Steven, I'd be curious who the episode directors were, because Steven, for seasons 3 and 4, he was working at DreamWorks at the time. And so he was part-timing it with X-Men Evolution. So perhaps maybe someone was planting seeds out there. But I do know, like, I'm pretty confident in that midway through production for season 4, they knew they were getting. I don't want to say canceled, because Marvel had been asking to be released from the contract from Kids WB because they weren't making any money. Like, that's it, and they just wanted to stop the show. So they weren't technically canceled, but they opted to cancel the contract.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, do you want to tell us a little bit about the rumor video that you'd found?
No, it's garbage.
Wait, what video are you talking about?
The one that I sent you earlier today. But it just spoke about like it just spoke about like what they thought that their ideas were, and like that there really wasn't really a story for Emma Frost or anything like that. It was more just that she would be added, but like the only thing that we really heard was just like the Psylocke thing, and I don't know. I thought that maybe Legion would have been kind of like the big bad or something, just because he's still out there, and I don't know.
That would have been so great if they would have followed through with like one thing that I really loved about X-Men Evolution is that they really brought in characters like Danny, Boom Boom, Legion, characters that never really got their dues in the anime series or anywhere else.
Rain.
Yeah.
Here's makes one makes a who's called Ronnie.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys actually
manner.
Right?
Good callback, sir. I wanted to actually ask you guys this: what character would you have liked to seen added to the cast, or even an episode or something that wasn't added throughout X-Men Evolution?
I've got mine.
I kind of got mine.
All right. What's yours, Sean?
Okay.
Start thinking.
I would, not only because she's one of my favorites, but I think she would have served the story. We kind of talked about this, but Magic, because we hinted at Colossus's family being like held by Magneto. I want to see that story.
Yeah, that was never resolved. You're absolutely right. I think Magic would have been a perfect fit in there, and she could have easily. They had the New Mutants already forming.
Yeah.
I think Emma should have been on it. Emma as a guidance counselor or something like that. I don't know how you would have done like the Scott, Emma, Jean, like that just would not have worked. But I think Emma would have been great. And I do think they're probably a necessary step. And I believe this was in the video you sent me, Ryan. I think because the story was so smart and the creators of X-Men Evolution really wanted to tell a story, I think you should have put Onslaught in there and have Professor Xavier, who is their teacher, their sort of guardian, turn on them, and what does that do to an individual, and how do you grow up knowing that, we've all been there where people we look up to and admire, namely our parents, we hit a certain age and we see they're very flawed. I would have loved to have seen that for Xavier. I think that would have fit nicely into the narrative of X-Men Evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plus, this Xavier's a dick. I would have liked to see his. Yeah.
Right.
I want to see his ass get kicked.
With me. Yeah, that's true too.
What did you say, Kevin? I didn't hear you.
Oh, I was thinking like having Onslaught would be cool if they paired it with like the Magneto Professor X origin story. So you can have like those back and forth, like where they started and versus where they are now. Would be pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would have been really good.
I also think Destiny should have gotten much more screen time in there.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And that's her first appearance. I think she may be coming to 97, but I don't think Destiny has ever gotten any like proper respect in the X-Men IP until recently. So, the fact that she was there was really, like you guys were saying, they had to sneak it in, and it was groundbreaking, and it was heavily implied, apparently, that they were together. I didn't pick up on any of the implications, but I'm sure they're there.
They're there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and Destiny's brother got to be in the animated series, Dr. Adler.
In our headcanon, in our headcanon, right? Dr. Adler is already dead. And did you see that he was tied to Operation Zero Tolerance in 97? He's a photo there on Forge's board. It was all connected. I love that little nugget.
Yes. Oh, and I just remembered you and Hammy were on that episode. We were ridiculous on that episode too.
Oh, were we? Oh my gosh, I'm sure. Listen, it's always a good time when and Hammy was with you guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we see him.
Randomly,
his flight was delayed or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love Hammy. We were, me, Hammy, and Latverian Lad did a boys trip a couple of months ago, and all we did for 72 hours was drink. That's it. I don't remember anything. Allegedly we were in Montreal. Allegedly it was snowing. We just found a bar and we just sat there, and for 72 hours we drank and ate pizza. And at one point, Hammy was like, I make all my friends do this, and pulled out Pokemon color pages and just made us color Pokemon as we were so drunk. And every time we tried to stop, he's like, keep going. So
I want to color Pokemon. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Well then, bitch, come to Montreal. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I love coloring.
I hate color. There's nothing more that I hate in life than being drunk and having to do something like a menial task. So,
well, I probably wouldn't have been drunk. I would just color, but
well, and I'll share this with everybody. Kevin had one drink at Disneyland and he was gone. I was having to carry him to the parking lot. He fainted in my arms. He was gone.
No,
of course he did, because
excited.
Kevin is like your golden retriever Boy Scout. He's always so on it, smiling. And of course, that one drink, kid, come on, let's go corrupt you.
Yeah,
I'm so pure.
Basically, anytime I hang out with Kevin,
I want to hang out with you three though. I want to make sure it's a fun time. It depends on how many drinks.
Yeah.
Wait, no, Kevin, we drank a lot. We drank a lot in Connecticut, didn't we? Or were you just pretending?
I had one or two with you. I had one or two with you. I didn't have a lot. Yeah, I didn't have a lot.
Okay.
But I remember you quizzing me
10,
about Charmed episodes. Yeah.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry. I don't remember.
That was great. You're like, what's this number? What's season 3, episode 12 or whatever?
Oh, that's right, because you can do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
You're a charmed machine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, but Kevin, what character would you have liked to seen added?
Oh, I'm gonna say Dakin, because we already have X-23 introduced. It'd be cool to have this whole Wolverine family, and I would love to see them like X-23 and Doc and fight for a little bit. Oh, it'd be fun.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's actually a very good one. Yeah. I was gonna say that I really would like to see actually Emma and Psylocke both be added, but they could be like literally like the cunty two new little girls in town, that are like like from Britain. No one knows who they are. Like they're just like mean and like they come from the Hellfire Academy. Blah blah blah. Like shit like that. Like or. How fun would it be to actually have Sinister as a bad guy? Then you would get like some theater guy from college that's a little queer, written that way, but not the everyone doesn't need to know that it's just written that way, and he likes to. He's really good with I don't know. He likes to do experiments on things.
He would be a college science professor.
Yes.
And they would like meet him in college.
Yeah. Cyclops would have him as a teacher.
Yeah.
He'd be like creepy professor, like trying to hook up with like the freshmen.
Right.
Yes, he would be Jean's. What's it called? He would be Jean's professor because didn't she say like in the like she wants to study genes or something in like one of the final episodes? Didn't we just discuss that?
Yeah.
She's like, maybe yeah. She's like, I think I might know someone that knows about that.
Yeah. That was right around the time they were graduating, right?
Yes.
Listen, I think Sinister would have been perfect, and Dakin as well, would have been great as well because so much of the Wolverine family is built out because of X-23 appearing in X-Men Evolution. So that organically makes sense. But now I can't get out of my head that Psylocke and Emma are the cunty British girls who just walk in. And they look like, hey, Jean, look at those pants from the Gap. And like they just like, walk by them.
I love what you've done with your hair.
Like almost like
Ian McKellen and Rebecca Romaine comfort level. Yes.
I was going to say like think like Cher and Dion, but Mean Girls. Like you know what I mean?
Ooh,
like with that type of like aesthetic. Yeah, exactly.
Like Regina George, like both of them, but like double Regina George, because none of them would be, a story. But like, no, I agree, and like maybe like
they might even have a mentor named I don't know Monet.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. It's so funny. I was just talking to a couple of people, Scott Lobdell, who created Monet. We were just talking on text, and he mentioned the actor that inspired Monet. Let me see if I can pull it up really quickly. But I think Monet may be on the horizon for certain things.
Nice.
Let's just see how that pans out. Let's see. I think that's a character that's too popular to not include in other shows.
Well, she's on our radar too. I'll just say that.
Yeah, Gail Simone. I mean, she's wanted to have her for like the past year, and that comic keeps getting pushed further and further. That like M's gonna join like her team.
Kat Graham is the actress who inspired Monet, the original Monet in the comics.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know too much. I'm not that. What's the word I'm looking for here? Invested in the current books. I've been very vocal about that, sadly, because it's kind of hard to dive into the current era. And I would love Gail Simone to write M, though. That would be a dream come true. Marvel. I think Marvel needs to let its creators and writers do what they do best, and whatever's going on with the MCU or whatever larger plans a creative publisher has, I think let your writers write. And I think in this case, Gail Simone is so talented and capable, and having M is just an organic choice for her.
Now, in our Make Believe season 5, now that Scott and Jean are like together, they're doing good. Does a girl that looks a lot like Jean show up named Madeline and kind of like break them up? Does Scott start going for her?
Well, especially if the new Professor Essex is going to be involved. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh!
I would. I mean, listen. Scott, an entire season dedicated to Psylocke, Jean Clone, and Emma hitting on Cyclops, and him having to choose Jean in the end. I think that would be amazing.
So
Um,
Are
good.
we writing this, guys? Are we writing this?
I think you have your pitch. I forgot why. I did ask Steven at, I think it was WonderCon a couple years ago, why they haven't revived X-Men Evolution. Like, what's the holdup here? It could be an IP thing. I think it could be a rights thing where the rights are being held by someone else. I have no
Yeah.
idea. I'm talking out of my ass now, but because Toy Biz
So
doesn't exist anymore.
I have this like amazing idea for an Exile X-Men 97 episode
I
where
want to
like
hear.
basically they take someone from Wolverine and the X-Men, X-Men Evolution, X-Men 97, shit, even Spider-Man and his amazing friends, and like that those four like create like a little team that have to like do something interdimensional, and then like that way it kind of like literally connects all of them, and then it would literally be like all these people from different X-Men TV shows getting together to, and it better not just be all the Wolverines from the TV show because that would really piss me off.
No,
But
Yeah.
it would have to be
yeah,
Dazzler from Pride of the X-Men Dazzler. I would love
yes,
that.
yes,
I
and
mean, the best
yes.
Dazzler
Oh
ever.
yeah.
Or House and Sage from Dark Phoenix because she has nothing going on. Sorry. She's our arch. Every time we message her PR people, we're like, "Hey, can Helston?" Because Flink, my co-host on Power of X-Men, is a huge Dazzler fan, and I keep thinking, how great would it be if we get Halston Sage, who played her in Dark Phoenix, the movie, and she's always too busy for us. And I look at her IMDb, and I'm like, I don't get it. And what is she doing? And she's too busy to come on an X-Men fan podcast. So
Right.
mm,
How dare she?
that's me being shady.
All right.
Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
She's like, I don't wanna.
She's like, just leave me alone. I was like, God damn it. But like the thing is, and like what I think why your podcast has done so well covering X-Men Evolution is because they had so much fun doing the show and so much heart was put into it and they still wanted to keep going. And that's why I think there's this fabled season 5 because people don't want to just accept the fact that for business reasons the show
Yeah.
no longer exists. And it's really unfortunate. And this is where I become really angry at Marvel and I start holding Marvel to task on sort of how they manage their IPs because X-Men, there was no reason for X-Men Evolution to go away because I don't know if Stevens mentioned this at that panel, but X-Men Evolution beat Pokemon in ratings.
Wow. I
Did
did
he
not
say
know
that?
Mm-mm.
It beat Pokemon. And do you know why? Because a large viewership were girls. And at the time, it was unheard of that there was a TV show that could unite boys and girl
Yeah.
audiences. We're talking kids here. And that's why X-Men Evolution was a ratings juggernaut. And that's
Yeah.
why they had anticipated to make so much money off of toys. And again, they were so close.
Pun
And,
intended.
but like, fuck KB Toys, man. Like for collapsing and everything. But it's, they really resonated with an audience and they had the goodwill of the movies at the time. And, I wish better decisions had been made, but I guess Marvel was post bankruptcy at that point. So they were just getting their footings and they were like, we have a success with the X-Men movies. We don't have the cash to burn as they would today.
Listen, Paul, I actually have a question for you. You've always have like a good insight on all this stuff too. We all are so like just recently they came out with like the 80s or early 90s Fantastic Four Marvel Legends. They came out with the Iron Man Marvel Legends and stuff like that. Do you ever see us getting like X-Men Evolution Marvel Legends, or is it just because of IPs and stuff like that that they can't like cross over and stuff?
I don't know what specifically would be the case with X-Men Evolution. I would imagine since Toy Biz owned it, those rights would sort of migrate over to Hasbro when the sale happened. Because the idea was that they would sell all of the licensing for action figures for all of their IPs, which Toy Biz owned. So they could they would, in theory, make more money off of the sale of the IP than toys. So the reason why Toy Biz no longer exists was that Marvel was gearing up for a sale to Disney, and the biggest liability you have as a company is a toy arm, because toys notoriously are expensive to make. They don't always land well. So I'm assuming that, and you know what, we can ask the Hasbro team this, but I'm assuming that transferred over to Hasbro, but I don't see anything happening anytime soon unless there is a revival of the series.
Okay. Damn, I was hoping
Sadly,
maybe for the 25th anniversary or something, we'd get like a 6-pack build of something, you know? That'd be pretty amazing.
I mean, I think that's. I think it's within their. If there was a demand for it, I don't think anytime soon, but I think if they revive it, let's say for the 30th anniversary, yeah, I definitely see that, happening. But I think Hasbro themselves too are in a very funny predicament these days. So let's see where they land. Yeah.
You're just like full of all the fun news today, Paul.
Yeah.
Like,
Always the
What
way.
a Debbie Downer.
We should just take off our shirts.
Kevin's getting ready.
I'm not. I thought about it.
Kevin's
I don't know.
Kevin's like, I was born shirtless. So I'm like,
Yeah.
he was born
Mine is
naked and the
drag.
rest is drag. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, but I think it's entirely possible. I think X-Men Evolution. I would be curious for how the ratings are on Disney Plus. Have you guys gleaned into any of how the ratings have done?
No.
No.
But let me see. With the series ending, I did have a few questions for you guys on here, just because I thought it would be fun. So it's like a favorite game. So I want to know, do you have like a favorite episode that you guys can think of throughout the series? And then I want you to think of, do you guys have a favorite filler episode where, we didn't really...
Adrift.
Yeah, no. Did you have a favorite character that evolved throughout the series? And then your least favorite episode.
Okay, I'm right. Hang on. Let me just pull up the list for me, but I can go
Yeah.
last.
I know my
I have a
favorite
few
one is
of those answered. What's your favorite, Kevin?
Blind Alley.
Oh,
That is a pretty great one.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you loved
I
that
mean,
one.
Yeah.
Well, I love when Jean just ascends and Mystique's like, girlfriend to the rescue. And she's here like, you got that right, lady. Meanwhile, Mystique is like younger than us. But that is, I think it's a very tender moment. It really establishes that psychic rapport that Jean and Scott have.
Mhm.
And I agree. I think that was very lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going back and forth because there's a few that I really liked. I'm looking at our ratings actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I keep track. I remember really liking Power Surge because that was a very
Yes.
Gene-centric and a lot
Paul was
going
on that
on.
one.
Yeah, he was.
I know. That's why
Maybe
I like
that's
it.
why I liked it so much.
That
I
was also my
I
first
know you guys
official
know this.
episode as a co-host.
Oh, it was. You're
Oh.
right.
Oh, that too, huh?
Oh, never
so I
mind. I
broke
don't
you
like
in.
that episode.
Yep. He broke my cherry. He popped it.
I really liked the Danny episode. What was it called?
Yeah, you
The
did.
Ghost of a Chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was amazing.
Okay, I really liked Under Lock and Key. I thought that was so great. And that's where we really started establishing what was going on with Apocalypse and that looming threat that was coming.
Mhm.
In terms of standalone episodes that I didn't like, I'm going to say what the episode where Beast was introduced. I mean, that fucking
Oh, yeah.
sociopathic piece of shit character had to come. Talk about a character that didn't need to be there. We could have gotten Emma, we could have gotten Monet, we could have had more screen time for Storm, but instead we had to get Beast. So, fuck that. But You know which episodes I remember loving so much? And did you remind me? I don't remember. Did you guys watch this live as it was happening?
I did.
I didn't.
Yeah.
You did, Ryan?
Yes, I did.
Okay. The season one finale, Cauldron, when Alex Summers was introduced, because they had never tackled the Cyclops Alex relationship in X-Men the Animated Series. So the fact that we got a proper storyline with Alex and Cyclops, it was a two-parter. Alex was like a surfer dude. I was like working at PacSun at the time, so I felt like a rapport with him. And I was just, and by the way, the surferness of X-Men Evolution, I think, can never be understated. Like when I had Maggie on the podcast, I was like, I love the Valley Girl, surfer girl accent you did. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like,
That's
oh,
just my voice.
yeah.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, exactly that. She's like, oh, it's just my voice. And I'm like,
Oh.
like, no, it's not. Like, come on, no one talks like that. And she apparently did. And like, she was earnest about it. She goes, oh, I guess I must have sounded a certain way. Now I'm doing her voice. But she's like, oh, I guess I must have sounded like that. I'm like, did you say like? Like, I use the word like in every sentence of my life because of your character. So it was just organic to her.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah. And speaking of, you made me think of this. I would fight you because Beast was kind of not necessary, but Alex was the most unnecessary character in this whole series. He's such a little bitch. And even in the last battle, what did he do? We didn't even get to see his power. He just is always in the background with his long hair going like this. That's it.
What do you want? What else do you want? What else do you want from him?
I want to see him use his power.
Oh, Sean, you were my favorite. You were my favorite of the co-hosts here.
He did use it once. He did use it once in the episode. He shot like the door or whatever.
He shot the door.
You're winning.
It didn't- I
Really
don't think-
winning me over
It
there.
wasn't very effective, but he did do it. I did see it.
He let the dogs out.
Yeah.
The dogs now. But I think also like the flash forward at the end of the series where we see Magneto leading the New Mutants, where we see Project Wide Awake, where we see Dark Phoenix. I mean, I get chills just thinking of Xavier's voice. Look at that figure. Oh God, I am a Debbie Downer. I was like, that's the ugliest figure, the ugliest Phoenix figure that we've gotten in a while.
Her head,
Never
her
coming
face,
on again.
her
This is my
face.
last.
No, her
She's got a
is not
face that
pretty.
only Elaine Gray can love. No, Elaine Gray can only love her, and and my mom is dead. So,
Wow.
all right.
Yeah, she-
Harsh.
I'm sorry.
It is not pretty, guys.
Do you
Oh my
guys
gosh,
have her,
she's beautiful.
Sean? Kev, do you have her?
I do
No.
not.
No, save yourself. She'll be on discount in a couple of years.
Honestly, the only reason
No one
I
wants that.
truly wanted her was because of the Phoenix part.
Yeah,
That
the
was like
Phoenix
my,
head.
like-
The Phoenix head is bad, but like the actual body is nice, and the Phoenix effect
Yes.
is great.
Just
The body's
buy a
nice
little
too, yeah.
bag to put over her head.
She's no
Jean
X-Men Evolution Jean. I'll tell you that. Mm-mm.
Right? See, she's like
Jean
I love
Butterface
the
Gray.
Jean design. Yeah.
Yeah, she is she's a little butterface. Well, Hasbro does the digital printing now. That's probably a little too much. And my qualm with that is that Jean wouldn't wear that much makeup. Like Jean is organically a beautiful, natural beauty. She wouldn't have such a heavy eyeshadow effect. And I've told this to Ryan Ting, sadly, who's no longer at Hasbro, but I sent in a comment.
There you go.
I love that.
I have thoughts. Yeah.
I'm sending
but
it
you
to
know what, I
Sean
also
and
think
Kevin
that-
right now. Yeah.
I think Mondo, though, Mondo did the Goth Rogue head though as an alternate to
Yes.
their snake. So you may see her pop up there. So the rights are out there and they are being used.
Oh yeah. I saw
Somehow.
that. Ugh. Zombified.
No,
He's
I want
ugly.
to
It's a
say
face that only Elaine Gray can love.
I want to say that there's a Cyclops or
Let's
some.
see.
There's another head from Mondo that's X-Men Evolution, I believe. Or I could just be wrong,
Mondo.
and I could be wrong.
I have Cyclops, but Cyclops was a gift to me, so I don't know if there was a deluxe Cyclops.
But I want to say
I'm
that
only
it
seeing
was.
the Rogue Head,
Oh, okay.
but you tell me. I miss everything these days.
No. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. It's fine. Um.
You fellas don't have this issue, but when you hit 40, your memory just goes. Like, it
Mhm.
happens overnight. You just forget everything. So,
Yeah. I like that
And
none of us
also,
have
I
that issue.
love.
Definitely none of us. Not a single one of us.
I'm glad none of us are over 40, right, Sean?
None
None
of
of
us,
us.
Kevin. Shut up.
40s are great. It's just your eyesight and your memory goes. That's the only, but it doesn't matter. So you don't remember anything, you don't see anything. It's great. So you can't be
Yeah.
traumatized anymore.
So I got 3
You
years
can't hurt
before I
me.
die. Okay.
Yes.
Are you 30? Kevin, I thought you were younger. I thought you were like 32.
I'm 37.
I don't know
I'm
why.
37.
You're 37? Well, that makes sense because we would have met 5 years ago. I can't believe it's been
Yeah.
5 years already.
Yeah.
We would have met 5 years ago when I came into the X-Men conversation.
Sure. Yeah.
And then we did that under lockdown. We did an episode together.
We did. Yeah. And Prue and Jean
Wow,
Grey
so-
comparisons. That was fun.
And
Oh,
you
yeah.
and me met like 5 years ago too, Kevin. You're just
We
meeting
did.
everybody 5 years ago.
I know. Yeah. It was a good time.
2020 in lockdown. Yep.
Yep.
That was one crazy time during the pandemic, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
No. But you guys, like, I feel like, you guys came into the X-Men scene and it was just a breath of fresh air. And what I really love about the content you guys do, and of course I saw that with like Kevin doing it for Charmed, was you guys are really tackling things that the other news sources and podcasts don't. And X-Men Evolution, I believe someone else was covering it, but you guys came in and you also made the coverage your own. And it's a pleasure to see.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you expanded the team and you brought Ryan in.
We did.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's wonderful to be part of this team, and I'm just extremely thankful because I get to literally log on once, sometimes twice, if I'm lucky, 3 times a week, and talk to these guys and just comic out. So it's a lot of fun. I'm
This
very
is
grateful.
No, but really,
my
how do you really feel? Who's like the diva? Right? It's Sean, right? Sean's the fucking diva. They
it's
can say
Sean.
Sean is the fucking
A diva. Like Mary J. Blige.
Behind
If
the scenes. I'm
anything,
like,
I think
fuck you.
that-
Why did you say that?
Yeah. No. I want to be kept on the podcast, so no, Sean's not a diva at all. Yeah, no. I want to actually like one episode to go out without Sean being like, "You're off the pod." So he's not a diva.
Thanks, girl.
Anytime, boo.
This is my impression of Ryan, and hopefully people will have seen this movie to get this. Oh, I just love solving Frex so much. I work here now.
Wait, where's that from? It's so familiar.
Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Dead gorgeous.
Yeah, there we go.
I love it so much. I work here now.
I work here now.
Oh, that is
Excuse
perfect. Oh my god.
I'm
so
glad you
happy.
work here, Ryan.
Thank
Me
you,
too.
thank you. Yeah. Honestly, like I said, I get to log on once or twice, 3 times a week maybe, to just comic with my buddies, and that is one of my favorite things. And I actually get to learn sometimes new things about these guys, and I've been podcasting with them for a year and still learning new things about them every time we talk.
Yeah. And I think for me, like getting to hear Kevin's kind of like, because you're more about the TV shows and the movies than I am. So getting
Yeah,
to hear your
yeah.
take on like how they brought you into X-Men and your knowledge on like that media it's really a breath of fresh air to me because my head's so far up the comic book's ass and X-Men Task's ass that I didn't get to watch these other shows as they came out. So that's what I appreciate you being on the podcast for.
Yay. Thank
I'm
you.
obsessed with how nice Power of X-Men. We are just hot messes. We show up, we're like, oh, what are we recording today? And like, we're just like, like, there's no like. I'll talk to Flink or Michelle or whoever, and I'll just be like, oh, do we have to record today? I don't want to see your face. So, you guys are. No, I'm just joking. No, I have to agree with you though on that. And it's like I think when you podcast with the right people, it really just like it brightens your mood. It's a pleasure to speak with, and me and Flink have been friends since 2006, and every time we do an episode, I'm always so taken aback about how brilliant he is, but also like some new information about the X-Men that he was harboring or nuggets and an insight that's just so good. So I hear you on that.
Yeah.
And he was fun to hang out with at 90s Con too. I enjoyed meeting him.
Oh, that's right. You did meet him there. You did meet him there.
Yeah.
I had so much fun at 90s Con. We have to do another con together.
We do.
If you guys send me your con schedule, I'll show up. But again, we won't get content. We'll just be drinking the other time, and I'll be a Debbie Downer and ruin your episode outline. I'm so sorry. But what were some of the things that people have been saying that would have happened in season 5? I'm just curious.
They didn't really talk about any like villains that they would have added or anything. Just that I really only remember just hearing like Emma being brought in, and that Psylocke wouldn't be a main character or anything like that. She would be an episode where she'd be a Shield agent.
I heard.
Gotcha.
I heard Nimrod might be added. I heard Sinister may have been adapted.
Yeah. I realize now, after finally watching Ascension Part 2, most of the rumor stemmed from that very last future scene, because they talked about how the Brotherhood would have been, like, basically Freedom Force. Yeah, they talked about Nimrod. Basically just a continuation of Xavier's little premonition.
Yeah.
But I did like the kind of, like, grown-up designs. We got to see them, like, older.
Yeah.
Which was so fun.
Wait, so
those were great.
Were you shocked at a lot of the ending of Ascension Part 2, or did you read about that as well?
Oh, I read about No, I didn't read about that.
All right, good. So you didn't like... Go ahead, John. Tell him.
Yeah, because, like, I got really mad when Mystique got turned into a statue and then crumbled, and I was like, this bitch is not dead. They did not just have Rogue kill Mystique. So I looked it up. So I was basically sitting on the fact that Mystique is one of the 4 horsemen for the rest of season 4, but I didn't bring it up because I didn't want to ruin it.
With, I think, 9 or 6 episodes still remaining.
Yeah.
I could have been that guy. I hypothesized that Mystique is not dead and that Apocalypse makes her one of the 4 horsemen.
Oh, your hypothesis.
Look at me. Lies.
You hypothesized pretty well. My goodness. Yeah, it's almost like you knew about this like 20-year-old cartoon. You knew what happened.
Yeah,
and that was one of the first times I think I'm trying to remember when Bloodlines for Apocalypse came out, but it's one of the few times early on where characters were selected as Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Like, of course, we had Wolverine at the time, and then, Polaris, Sunfire, Gambit. But I want to say Evolution was probably right before. In fact, I'm pretty sure Evolution was before Polaris, Gambit, and Sunfire were Horsemen. So it was a pioneer. And, I think they pioneered so many stuff in that show that I don't think it ever gets, like, its proper credits, because the idea that the Super Soldier Initiative was a prelude to Weapon X, the Weapon X project, for example. It's just another example of all the stuff they did.
Yeah, it was very revolutionary for X-Men, I think. I think a lot of writers took a lot from Evolution and, like, expanded it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, like, no one really gives Evolution its credit, and I think that's extremely unfortunate,
Agreed. So we've been debating a little bit over here. I think I finally have my answer. I want to run this by you though, Paul. So Mystique is turned into a statue. And we've kind of debated. There's this point
yeah.
where Rogue basically is
When?
like, I want nothing to do with Mystique, and we see what looks like a tear come out of the statue's eye. So we've argued
Mm-hmm.
whether it was Mystique crying or just like dew. But then, so the statue crumbles, but then she comes back as a horseman. So my final theory is I think the statue did cry, and I think Apocalypse pulled her out of the statue at some point before it crumbled. What is your thoughts
Oh,
on this whole thing?
interesting. I don't, I kind of just attributed it to like Apocalypse Juju in that she died and was somehow resurrected. Um, I I'm a big fan of Mystique being a stone cold assassin who's gonna like throw her baby off a cliff and make no, and just do it. But that at the core of it, there's certain things are too tough for her. And like again, that scene in the animated series where she's holding baby Nightcrawler and tears are going down her face. Similarly with this situation with Rogue, I mean, Rogue is airing her grievance and her pain that Mystique has caused her, and I think even Mystique, for as hardened she can be, that would even affect her. So I like that she could be crying. I like the biblical imagery with that. I grew up Catholic, so there's always a statue of Mary crying, and it's a miracle, and we have to go pray the rosary. So
I went to Our Lady of
it spoke
Sorrows.
to me.
That was my school.
Oh, really? I went to St. Brendan's and La
Yeah.
Salle, so it's yeah.
St. Cornelius.
Jeez.
Look at
All
us
right.
Catholic boys.
I was a little altar boy too for a little bit.
Kinky.
Oh, I know. But then I
I
found
was an altar
witchcraft
boy
and
too.
yeah, I found.
I was an altar
witchcraft,
boy
and
as
I liked
well. But
Same.
we'll talk offline about our altar boy experiences. But
I like to
Oh,
ring the
no.
bell. That was my favorite thing, ringing the bell.
I did too with the incense and everything.
Yeah, yes.
No, you really had to. And like I knew I would grow up to have issues because I always wanted like the priest's approval. He'd be like, "You did a great job." I'm like, "Thank you, Daddy." I mean, Father.
Oh no! Oh no!
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Can you give me some of that wine? um,
See,
But,
now I know how this
no,
all happened with all the priests. Okay, I get it all. Okay, good.
but I'm curious. Like, what did you guys think? Like, how did you guys have done the deep rewatch on the show? I have not. I watched it several times, but I haven't watched it in the last few years. I'm curious. What is there an implication that Apocalypse brought her back? Because my memory is Rogue pushes the statue, it crumbles, and then Mystique is back as a horseman. Is there some kind of bridge or something that's stated?
We'll talk about a Risty sighting.
Yeah.
Well,
We had a
Bring it
Risty
up.
sighting.
so we're still very uncertain. We don't know. That's why we kind of wanted your opinion
Yeah.
on it about like if it was. I wanted to bring Risty up after Paul
Okay.
said his, because I feel like that's kind of like that might be like solving for X eyewitness news, like like
Okay.
Oh.
we might have been
So
the first people to ever come up with that or see
So
that.
what Ryan's saying, Paul, is there's no wrong answers, but depending on what you say, we're gonna try to make you look like an idiot. So go.
Good
Thank
luck,
you, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir. I'm not worthy of the Eucharist, sir. Why every time? I don't know. But you know what? But have you invited Steven onto the podcast?
No.
No.
Bitches, what are you doing? Invite Steven
I
on
know.
for a
We're
recap.
terrible. He follows us
He
now
probably
too. So
would.
it's like
Yeah. We
he
just
loved my Scott Summers Evolution cosplay, and he's like, "Are you the
yeah.
Cyclops that was in his skivvies?" That's what he said to me.
Well, so there's a Risty sighting after the statue falls. I just be curious, was it deliberate or a production? That's the thing I always have an issue with. Is it deliberate or was it a production error? And I think in this case, I would give X-Men Evolution the benefit of the doubt that it was deliberate.
So we believe that it was deliberate because we think that All right. Yes or no? Was Mystique in that statue or not? Because I can't answer
Yes or
these
no?
questions without. Yeah, I can't answer these questions.
Yes,
Am
yes.
I
I think
wrong?
Mystique was in the statue. That's what I'm saying. Yes, I think Mystique was in
Okay.
the statue. Wait, is that the
No
inappropriate?
matter
Is that the
what, to
wrong
be
answer,
honest.
sir?
No. Don't worry, my young son.
What's the
Yeah.
answer that's gonna get? What's the answer that's gonna get me humiliated and punished? Is what I want to know. Where are you gonna prove me right? What? Just tell me. Tell me. I thought
Actually,
she
to be honest
was.
with you, no answer would be right or wrong. To be honest with you, because it's the power of Apocalypse. So he basically exploded Magneto, Storm, and Professor X. So if this
Gotcha.
lady got thrown off a bridge or off the, I don't know, whatever that weird place of at
Gazebo.
the mansion the gazebo. When she got thrown off of the gazebo, like she would have still been able to be brought back to life no matter what because the other people were exploded. So she basically was stone exploded. She was crushed.
Exploded or
So
teleported? Because we don't know they were exploded. They could have been teleported and never died.
okay, well either exploded or teleported. Jesus, criminy. So we don't know
Ryan,
either
I think
way.
you're right on everything. Don't listen to Sean. Don't listen to
Thank you.
Sean.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All your own
Shut
podcast.
Yeah.
No, wait. I'm sorry. I meant it the other way. Sean, don't listen to Ryan.
Yeah.
I never do.
He doesn't.
What?
He actually does. But no. Either way would have been right because she could have been brought back to life anyway to be a horseman because that's what he basically did with the other people or teleported, whatever, Sean. But he could have teleported or
Rude.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you have a chaotic Dayspring on your podcast. I'm going to turn
Yeah.
you all against each other.
Yeah.
Kevin, don't pay
I like
attention
how-
to them.
I
Kevin,
like
you
how,
don't
like,
need
5
co-hosts, do
minutes
you?
ago, Dayspring was like, y'all get along so well. And now he's like sowing seeds to make us hate each other.
Disorder.
I don't need to be kicked off. I'm off the pod. Yeah.
No, you guys have an infectious chemistry, all kidding aside, on stuff like that. I am curious on one of the pleasures I have is always rewatching a show and then following a podcast along as I'm doing my rewatch. So X-Men Evolution's on the docket for me. So I can't wait. I listen to your episodes without without seeing the actual series. So I want to rewatch the series and follow along with you guys. It's such a commitment, as you all know. It's such a commitment to
Yes.
rewatch an entire television series, and you're like, oh.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's it would be a lot of fun though if you did it with us. So if you did it with us, I think it would be a little bit easier.
I will be the rose between all your thorns and listen to you guys when I'm watching the episodes. But it's I think X-Men Evolution I associate it with such a happy time in my life, and the early aughts was just like a vibe, and sometimes unearthing that part of your life. You're like, oh man.
Going into high or like just in high school, stuff like that. Like it was a lot of fun.
I was about to be like, oh, and I saw Power Surge recently because I was on your ass. I'm like, wait a minute, I saw Power Surge recently.
All right,
Sorry,
but
I
I'm
only
gonna.
remembered Sean. I only remember talking to Sean because he was the most memorable one without his shirt.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Look
Get
at me
it,
turning
Johnny.
all of you against each other.
Get it, Johnny. All right,
I've always
but,
hated
okay.
Kevin.
I was just joking, Kevin. It's all you, Kevin.
Like my OnlyFans.
No, it's really Ryan.
He's pitting
Wait, do you
us
have an
against each
OnlyFans?
other.
We talked about
Do you
this.
have an OnlyFans?
Yeah, we talked about this.
We talk about this every single time, and I forget.
Yeah.
Am I subscribed?
I don't know. I never know really.
I don't know. Hammy has like a Patreon, and I keep
Yeah.
saying I'm subscribed, and you're like, no, you're not, and then he like smacks me.
You're right. I don't even look. I don't even look who's following me or subscribed. I just.
I don't. I think in an era of social media, I try not to look at any numbers unless it's
Yeah.
like, something, but I never see who likes something. I never see who's following. I don't, who views it. It just becomes so weird. And I try to ignore everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea.
I don't even look at like podcast listens. I don't look at the demographics or anything. I hide it all. I don't want to know.
Well, cool. Well, before we wrap up, did anybody have anything else to add to our
No,
little
we have to still.
discussion
No,
today?
we haven't finished talking about Risty. We need to. That literally got.
Reveal.
Oh, you just
Yeah.
messaged me. I will get back to the wristy thing.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah,
I will
that's what I
get
was
back
looking-
to the Risty thing.
Well, then stop sitting on it and pull it out your ass already. Tell us about it. Oh, that's my vibrator.
Oh, real? I was about to be like, Ryan, don't listen to Sean, but then Sean's like, my vibrator's going off. So I'm like, hey, Sean, what's going on?
All right, so shortly after, maybe actually 4 episodes after the statue was cracked, all that stuff, Risty shows up in the Legion episode, and she shows up with face tattoos on her face to actually kind of look like the tattoos that were on Mystique's face in when she became the Horseman. So we were thinking that maybe Risty was scouting Legion because Apocalypse heard of this mutant that was really popular.
Mhm.
Yeah, they got me with the
And
face
that's
stuff.
what it
I
is.
guess they're
Face tattoos.
I guess they're technically not tattoos because they fall off when they get cured.
Sure.
But like whatever mechanics it is, she had stuff on her face, and that's what got me. That's what got me about this theory.
I can't comment on this theory. I want to say yes, and that Ryan, sir, you are correct. But I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it was the Legion episode she was in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sons of the Sun.
At the very
Okay,
beginning.
I'll watch it tonight, and I will message you at 3 a.m. like a madman, and like I'll give you like my full breakdown on that because I don't remember too well. I mean, Mystique was like really curious in evolution, right? Because she was a principal, and then she mutated at the end of the Cauldron, and then she comes back in the black top. Then she's turned to stone, and then she dies, and then is the Horseman. Is that her
It's a
journey?
crazy
That's her
journey.
journey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
So, and we never saw that reptilian form again, did we?
No.
No,
It was
thank
so
God.
hated. Yeah.
Terrible.
Thank God.
Well, did you know also in the comic books X-Men Forever, not like the Claremont one, but like the original X-Men Forever mini, Mystique gets transformed into that reptilian form as well, and it all goes back to the movies with Rebecca Romaine. So, in all mediums, Mystique was trying to be redone in that sort of template, and it just never stuck at all. I wonder
It
why.
doesn't look good in comics. Our
No.
shows. It has to be live action.
I agree. I'd be curious to see like what an MCU Mystique is going to look like. I think with Rebecca Romaine coming back, that what I've heard is that it's going to be Rebecca Romaine's Mystique, but just with like the white costume. But I'm curious what an MCU proper Mystique's going to be. And, there's so many people already throwing their names in the hat. Like, I think Jinx Monsoon just said that she would want to play Mystique. Hunter Schafer has comment, which I think Hunter Schafer would be perfect casting.
Yes.
And so I'm curious, would they make them more reptilian? Would it be more kind of like a human with like blue skin? How they would approach the character?
I also really want to see Mystique not as somebody's sidekick, because in the comics, like she's always leading her own team. She's barely ever working with someone, but we had her working for Magneto. We had her in the original working for Apocalypse and then Sinister. So she's always like somebody's side bitch.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if she is someone's side's bitch in the movie, but then at the end it's revealed that she has her own little plan,
Yeah, I'd
like
be
her own
fine
little
with
plan.
that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I
because I think that's more
I
Mystique than anything. You know what I mean? Like she's more of like a sneak and spy, and I mean it's in her name.
I would be curious to see where she ends up in 97. I think it's pretty obvious that Mystique's already in 97. And I would be curious if he becomes more of like a free agent and not like Apocalypse's sidekick, not Magneto's sidekick, stuff like that. I agree with you. It is kind of jarring that they've done that in the past with these characters, with a character like her.
Hmm. Cool. Did we cover everything now? We got Risty out of the way.
Right.
All right,
I
I
want to
guess
ask
we
more
can sign
questions.
up. Oh, go ahead.
Wait, so
Okay.
I want to ask you guys. So, and you may have mentioned this in your recap episode. What what is like your sort of like overall like perspective on the series? Like, how are you sort of ending?
Oh, I want to hear
Like your
Sean's
thoughts on this?
actually.
Oh no.
Yeah, because this is him watching it for the
Um.
first time.
Yeah, this was my first full watch through. I tried season one like 3 times before we did this, so here we are. Um. I would say to anybody, stick through, because season two is like the ramp up. Season three is the best. I think it's a really smart show. I still think, sorry, Dayspring, but I still think the animated series is like the show. And I count X-Men 97 with that since it's a continuation. That's still like my
Wait, why
X-Men
are you saying
experience.
sorry, Dayspring? I think it's good too.
Okay, okay. But I think this was a
Sure.
really enjoyable watch. I could see now, because I know Stephen E. Gordon also worked on Wolverine and the X-Men, which like I think is amazing. So I definitely see now how that writing like carried over, how that character work carried over. Because a lot of people see Wolverine and the X-Men as kind of like the spiritual successor to Evolution, and it makes sense to me now after watching the whole thing.
Nice.
Hmm.
I think like if you're a casual fan, I can see someone getting confused about X-Men Evolution and Wolverine and the X-Men and thinking of that as sort of the characters had grown up.
Yeah,
That's where I think some people could possibly get confused.
yeah, I could totally see that, especially like the animation's so similar too, and the writing.
Kev, what did you
Hmm.
think?
I've always loved this show. I've always been an advocate for the show because I remember well, I was always a big fan of Cyclops. So Cyclops and Jean are like the epitome in this series. I think they're so well done and so perfect, and I think that's what like I mean, in my mind growing up, that's what I always visualized. So yeah, I like it a lot. Season one was rougher than I remembered it being. I remember watching season one, I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't good as much, but it did come around to what I remembered.
Yeah, the thing that I remembered from season one was that it was what's the word I'm looking for? It was like very safe and by the books, right? Because they had to be promoting or be in reaction to the movie. And I think once they were able to get their own fitting, prove themselves to the network, they were able to go off on their own. But
Yeah, I know season two they got more
again,
freedoms. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I think they, you know, they were again, not to be repetitive here, I think they all enjoyed doing that series, and it is really upsetting that for all intents and purposes there was low drama on the back end. We know with the X-Men animated series there's a lot of drama there, but I think they were left to their own devices. They had great ratings. It's really upsetting to sort of digest that the reason why the series ultimately failed was because of a misstep with how toys were being
Hmm.
managed.
Yeah.
That is upsetting.
Did you guys collect the toys by any chance? Speaking of the toys.
No, but throughout this entire pod, I have looked them up on eBay. They are not cheap. But I love that there's like literally like a blob, a juggernaut, Kurt out of like Kurt with the his image inducer on, not as a lady but as a man.
Yeah,
And
and these were on discount. These were on discount when KB Toys was going out. I'm looking at the prices right now. Someone's selling this a spike for $40 plus shipping, and they got them for 199.
Oh my gosh.
199, bro. Like
yeah,
Jesus fucking Christ.
Someone gave this to me
Wait.
at Uncanny. So they saw me like, "Are you Scott Summers?" Like, yeah. Like,
Nice.
here you go. And they just gave it to me. I was like, oh, thank you.
that is so cute. I love that that
Yeah.
person did that.
So I'm really
That's so
happy.
sweet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that the toys, and we were talking about this on with Steven on the pod. It was like I'm surprised that we didn't get a Gene or a Goth Rogue, some of the more heavy hitters. I don't I get that KB the distribution was sort of falling apart, and perhaps this is a question for the Toy Biz end. But did they not have the heavy hitters planned? It's kind of like a big question mark.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would have. If I had the money that I was making now, I would have bought it. But the money that I was making back when I was a freshman through senior, I could have actually bought it maybe senior year, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I was working at PacSun. I forgot what the. It was like $5.90. I was making an hour. I couldn't afford. Well, maybe I could have afforded an action figure, but um, it's I don't know. It's really curious, but I do regret that I didn't get the Spike figure because Spike at the time was so not liked at all, and the character has actually become very beloved in fandom. Like people really
Mm-hmm.
do appreciate Spike now.
yeah.
We actually felt bad for him because Xavier was always like, Spike, you're such a troublemaker. Like, I should send you home. Meanwhile, he's like regular teenager. Like,
Right.
Nightcrawler and Boom Boom snuck to the circus. They like snuck out at night, and like Spike gets the worst of the punishments.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Spike was a really interesting character because he was initially created because they wanted to make sure that they had a strong, diverse cast. And you had characters like X-23 who are original to the series who are very well beloved and were became fan favorites, but Spike did not land. And I think he didn't land because it tinkered with Storm's lore that was Storm's nephew, and that's not really true to the comics. And fans were getting a little upset about that. But also, I think there is a Poochie element to it, like The Simpsons, where you just insert a character for obvious
Poochie.
reasons. Poochie. Um, but I think, when you look back on it, it's absurd because the character was actually done really well. And it was during an era when you had characters like Harley Quinn that debuted in the animated series of Batman and went on to be comic book counterparts. So it is kind of weird that Spike never landed and still to this day has not, I don't believe, has appeared in the comics. I think maybe there has been a nebulous reference here and there, but never a strong like this is Spike Storm's nephew from her whatever side of the family he's supposed to be from. But
Right. And one thing that surprised us from Stephen E. Gordon, he had said that at the time they were not aware of Marrow because we kind of gave the show some crap. Like,
Right.
why didn't you just use Marrow? And we thought that Spike was kind of like made because of Marrow, but he claims that they did not know about Marrow. It's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
yeah, I was shocked by that too.
Same.
They didn't know that Marrow was there. Marrow at the time was so front and center. She was in Marvel versus Capcom, and she was Operation Zero Tolerance was happening in the comics. So she would have been. But they didn't get, and this is something that we see with a lot of like Y2K Marvel. Marvel didn't intervene in the way they intervene now. And it was really evident in X-Men Evolution. And then what was the game that came out a couple of years later? X-Men Destiny, where no one was fact checking the lore or anything with the characters. They just
It was bad.
let the developers
Yeah.
do. Yeah. So again, I agree with you. My note would have been like, okay, we want to diversify the cast, but we have a character with this power set. She's female. Perhaps we can find a way to. I don't know Mero's background in the comics off the top of my head, but let's put her front and center here. And make sure you refocus some stories on Storm, because Storm, the other thing that Stephen E. Gordon had said, and this is something that the Leewalds had told us as well, and something you see in the movies, is that no one knows what to do with Storm. And it isn't until like recently with the comic books and X-Men 97 that Storm actually has been given her proper dues. There's much more to give, but at least now we're seeing the potential for Storm being realized from a narrative sense. And it wasn't until like it hasn't been since the Claremont era with Storm and the Outback era that we never actually really got strong Storm stories, or at least adapted. So, I would have refocused Storm in lieu of giving her a nephew. That's kind of weird. It's just give Storm a better plot.
Yeah, don't make her the driver all the time.
Although her outfits are freaking amazing.
They are really cute.
I don't know, that Toy Story realness that she served on that cruise.
The cruise.
No, that was not giving. Yeah, Mother deserves better.
Giving.
Mother deserves better.
So over
Fair
the
enough.
weekend, I listened to an episode of Homo Superior podcast where they were talking about what's it called? The season 3 finale, basically. And
Wait,
they were
was it like Dark Horizons or something like that?
Yes, Dark Horizon. And they were very confused because there's there's one more episode and it's called Cruise Control. It has nothing to do with these other
I
titles.
listened to that this
Oh my
week too.
God.
Yeah.
I
And I liked how one of them said, if this is just a standalone random episode, I'm going to lose my shit. Like, I'm going to be so mad. I'm like, oh, I can't wait till they watch it.
I'm like, but do you know it's supposed to take place different? If it's aired different, like
Yeah, it was aired different.
or not aired, but it was supposed to be different. Like on the DVDs, I have the right order. I should look at my DVD order and just make a list of what the correct
Maybe.
order.
Yeah,
should
it was
message
supposed to be episode 10, right? I'm looking at the Wikipedia here.
Yeah.
It was interesting because it was supposed to be after. I remember the review for it. It was supposed to be like their episode to have a downtime because Apocalypse is coming, right? That's like the biggest threat for the characters, and this was supposed to be sort of their last reprieve before the imminence of Apocalypse was going to come.
Yeah. But instead, the way it plays out, Apocalypse is here. Hey, guys, let's go on a cruise. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, Paul, thank you so much for coming on and shattering all of our hopes and aspirations for season 5.
I should have just stayed quiet. I'm sorry.
No, we are better to have known.
Yeah.
And I kind of like my
I thought
idea
you were going to be
more-
like, no.
Yeah, I like my idea more of Emma and Betsy coming across, being like the cunty little exchange students from Hellfire Academy and Hellfire University. Yeah.
Ooh, love it.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. We can because we just did, but I'm like that idea is gold, and you need to tell Stephen E. Gordon. You need to slide into his DMs and tell him that, because I think that's perfect.
I mean, and then you think about it. Then guess who actually is Warren's college mate? I'm sorry, I already revealed. I was gonna say, guess who Cyclops' college roommate is?
Oh, it's Warren.
Warren. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
and Jean is going.
It would be so good. Yes. So then it'll be a little
Jean
quadruple love triangle. I don't know, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, Scott has to go out with Warren because he's macking on this new girl, and they're on a weird double date, and Emma's just oh, but Cyclops secretly wants her approval, and Emma's let me fuck with this straight edge guy, and then ends up liking him.
Yes.
And
And
then
then
at the same time,
as I say,
No,
out
go.
of nowhere, Warren and Cyclops actually end up hooking up because they're in college and they're experimenting. So it'd be great. It'd be great.
they're no homo, bro. No homo.
And then
We're white
Kitty
and
starts
privileged.
wearing glasses, but then she takes them off, and then Scott looks at her like, "What?"
Yeah. Oh Lord, yeah. It doesn't count if your
That
wings
would
jerk
be-
me off. Oh,
It's
Well,
God.
again, it's such a great series. I think the college, like Saved by the Bell, they should do the college years.
Yes.
yes,
Yes,
that'd be amazing.
that would actually be really good. X-Men Evolution, the
Yeah.
college years.
The college years.
Uh,
Where can the people find you, Mr. Dayspring?
Let's see. I'm supposed to go to Pittsburgh Comic Con this weekend, but I think I have to go back to the city because I got booked for a gig. I'm going to try to swing by Erie Comic Con because Scott Lobdell's going to be there. We will be at New York Comic Con. And then over on the podcast, we're at Power of X-Men on all podcast platforms. We're going through Morrison's new X-Men. Me and my co-host Flink, we're going issue by issue, breaking down every little morsel so we can continue shattering people's dreams. But we love New X-Men. New X-Men. Grant Morrison's New X-Men is gold, but we're dissecting everything. We're on Instagram only in terms of social media. I tried to go on other social media platforms. I just don't have the
a lot
bandwidth
to
for it.
juggle.
So we're on Instagram. Yeah, we're on it. And you guys know how this is when you like edit your own podcast, you promote your own podcast, you
Yeah.
book your own guests, you do your own scripting, you manage a social media platform. It's a lot. And I am trying to experiment with YouTube. So, we have a not such great presence on YouTube. I think we have about 2,500 subscribers. So if anyone listening wants to see me rant about Marvel Legends, probably not sober, please hit us up there.
So-
But most importantly, go watch the Power Surge episode of this podcast because that was Ryan's first episode, and I was on it.
Yay.
And you guys are the best podcast ever. And I want our stars to align, and we can all go to the same con together.
It'll
Yeah.
happen.
oh my God, that will.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it
I'll
will.
come. I'll fly to all of your cities and pick you losers up.
We should do C2E2.
No, I'll definitely will. I'll go. I've actually
I
always
used to go
wanted
every year,
to,
and it's been a while.
yeah, that's actually where I met. It was a Stan Lee interaction, and it wasn't anything like I bought the one-on-one or anything like that. We were passing through, and he was through so many people, and I literally was like, "Stan, I love you," and he looked at me and he goes, "Hey, how are you?" Like that, and I'm not joking. I wasn't expecting him to say "I love you" back or anything like that, but I was but just for him to literally make eye contact, and after that happened, I looked at my cousin and I was like, "Did you just?" He's like, "I saw it happen. I saw it. I will vouch for you till the day I
Proof.
die." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Thank you."
Yeah, it's you know what? Another thing, and I don't know if you guys talked about this already. Stan Lee has no presence in X-Men Evolution, and there's no evidence that he ever acknowledged the show. Stephen E. Gordon and him would go on to work on other projects, and X-Men Evolution would never come up. So,
Interesting.
because I've looked for references, because again, I think X-Men Evolution, I love the animated series quite a bit as well, but X-Men Evolution does not get that respect that it deserves. So I'm so happy you guys did your what's next? So what's next? Wait, can I do it? What's next for you guys? What's going on?
Oh my gosh!
Wait,
Wait, is this
okay.
where we tell?
So
Ooh,
yeah,
secrets.
so Ryan and Kevin,
Give
go ahead and give
Power
your
of
outro.
X-Men
Then
exclusive.
I was gonna tease it after you guys do your outros.
Okay.
Okay.
Who goes next?
I think Kev, you go first, don't you?
I never know.
Or
Okay,
whoever. Yeah.
so-
I don't know.
So yeah, you can find me on Instagram, KJEEZY87, or follow the other podcasts that we do, Words of the Witches, currently covering the Charmed official magazines, about halfway through those. And yeah, always going strong, having fun.
Yes.
Yes. You also can find amazing photos of Kevin dressed as a blue elf, as you all saw last episode, on his Yes. That gives you literally the true Blue Daddy elf look that everyone didn't know they needed,
Yes.
but
Thank
everyone
you.
wanted. Yes.
WAP. I am WAP. WAP seeing those.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy
And
with it.
you guys can find me on Instagram at RYEORIO or find me in the Solving for X comments. You might even find me in a few of Daddy Elf comments as well, too. So see you guys there.
Yeah.
Nice. You can find me on Shawnee Havoc on Instagram or TikTok, and you could find our podcast, Solving for X.Xmen.TAS, on YouTube. We do not have 25,000 followers yet, but we just started YouTube a little while ago, and on Instagram. And as a tease, so the show is coming back October 3rd. We're taking that little break, and we are coming back
It's October
strong
3rd.
with WandaVision. WandaVision.
You didn't even tease it. You revealed it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I was
true.
just gonna say. I thought you were gonna do like the dun 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 or something like that.
You
Drum
guys,
roll.
can I tell you, I'm so jealous. You're going to enjoy the gas in our engine at Power of X-Men was WandaVision. That's what gave us sort of a springboard. And you three covering WandaVision, I cannot wait for that. That is going to be,
Thank
that's
you.
epic. That's going to be
Thank you
epic.
so much.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to watch
We
it
just-
again.
We
Your
decided
life is
I
going
am
to change.
too.
Wait,
too.
can I give you guys some advice? Can I give you some really quick advice?
Sure.
course.
Don't fuck with MCU Wanda stands. Do not. Just don't.
I got
don't
this.
engage.
I have the
They will
steel book.
Look at that!
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I didn't even know that
So-
existed.
Neither did
I know, right? You're welcome.
I love WandaVision. If you're taking guests, please, whichever
we
one,
will.
I would love to be. Whatever. Even if you need someone to just come in for 5 minutes, I would love it.
Even if you just need a place to pee.
Yeah.
Can I tell you? Drawn Together, bitch. Stop it. I love that show so much.
You got it, yes.
Bitch, you can't pull a fast one. I mean, I'm sorry, sir, you can't pull a fast one on me. But
You got it right the first
can
time.
I tell you? Have you all seen WandaVision already?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Victoria Blade, who plays the redhead in the commercials, I was convinced, my fan theory for Wanda was that she was, for WandaVision was that she was Wanda's parents. Those were Wanda's parents. And I was hounding poor Victoria Blade the
Oh my
entire time.
gosh.
There's a random X-Men account was hounding this poor woman to the point that she just messaged me. It's like, you want me to be on the podcast? I was like, yes, I want you to be on my podcast. And so we had her on the podcast.
That's
So
awesome.
reach out to Victoria Blade if you can, because she is. There's a lot of fun theories with WandaVision.
Okay. Yeah, we decided to push WandaVision and Agatha up just so that we are in line with Vision Quest. We want to cover that as it's on. So we were going to do Wolverine and the X-Men, but that's being pushed back so we can be here for our sexy X's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
And they're
of fun.
short series,
I can't wait
so
to watch it. Yeah,
it's easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
they're 30 to 40-minute episodes, so it's great. I really wanted the finale to be much longer.
Yeah. And over the break, I will be gathering everybody's voices for our next project coming up, which will be released in October. Should we release the name as of yet? Should we release anything as of yet? What do you guys think?
Oh.
What
no.
is it going to be? A release of early October or late October?
Late October for Halloween.
Release the name October 1st.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
So last year you got 2 Mutant to Handle. Mojo put all the X-Men in a dating show. At the end of 2 Mutant to Handle, Mojo called up Arcade and decided he wanted to get revenge. So this year they are back in what we are calling Nightmare on Graymalkin Lane. And we're very excited for it.
So you can only guess what type of antics the X-Men will be getting
The
into
antics.
this.
Yep. All right, sexy Xy's, thank you for listening. We are going to go off record and just gossip and giggle and talk about a bunch of stuff we don't want you to hear with Paul. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
I-